as we look forward to match day 5 as they take on Bennett Insurance. Well, by the way, there's been a little bit of a drama in Lagos State. Enyimba Football Club not been able to travel to Casablanca. And of course, bulk of the blames have been put on the table of the Wydad Casablanca Football Club crew and the fact that they could not just secure every single needed detail to help Enyimba leave Nigeria to Morocco. And as a result of the flight delay, we hear that CAF has shifted the game. It was supposed to go down tomorrow, but it's now been shifted to Thursday to give Enyimba some time and cushion to get themselves together, prepare for the game. So the game has now been shifted from October 25, 25th rather, to October 26, 2023. That's the story. From there, we'll also talk about the big stories making rounds around the Super Falcons camp, where we hear that the camp is bubbling so far. The girls arriving as we look forward to the Olympic qualifiers. Well, a few players are set to miss out, the likes of Halimatu Ayinde, Christou Cheibe, Gift Monday, and the rest of them, but they have replacements. So we'll look at the replacements as well and what this means for the side. By the way, the UEFA returns later tonight. It's going to be a glamorous night of action. Basically, Sevilla welcome Arsenal. Man United have got to make home our game against Copenhagen, a game they have to win if they fancy any chance of playing in the competition as it continues. Well, yesterday, Tottenham Hotspur showed classic quality again, still unbeaten so far, and they're top of the EPL standings. A 2-0 victory helped them to do that against Fulham last night. We'll talk about all of these stories and so much more in the course of the show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again, and welcome to the Football Fans Attack. My name is Marizona, reporting for duty this particular afternoon. I have Blyden Okiem, the High Chief and Team Captain, and of course UT David, and together we're going to do justice to what's in the plate. In case you want to be a part of the show, well, the phone lines have never changed. They remain 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. The numbers to give you a chance to be a part of the show. Otherwise, you can head to Facebook, the Planet Radio 101 FM Sports page. There is a post published there. Drop a comment on that post and we are going to take them in the course of the show. Also, we're going to stream live, of course, and we also get your thoughts from the Planet Radio 101 FM official Facebook page, the live feed. Go there, drop your comments, and of course, we're going to take them in the course of the show. By the way, we're looking forward to the Akwa United State Governors Cup. So, the continuation of the event, and we'll look at the stories from there and the latest from that climb. So it's going to be an action-packed show. Welcome once again. the ongoing 2023-2024 Nigerian Premier Football League season, the management of Akwa United has charged the players and the coaches of the club to begin to turn things around. Despite churning out good results during the preseason games, the Promise Keepers have yet to secure a win in the league after 4 games. The management called for an emergency meeting on Monday after the team played out another goalless draw against Shooting Stars in match day 4 just last weekend. And of course, after the meeting, the chairman of the club, the Paul Bassi, told the players to show more commitment and dedication in the subsequent matches. Noted that the fans are not happy. The teaming fans of Akwa United are so not delighted with the performance of the boys so far. They've been charged to turn things around. Well, UT, at this point, it's 4 match days into the season for the Promise Keepers, and of course, in the season, 2 draws, 2 losses. Both the draws have come at home and they've been goalless draws. The 2 losses have come away and they've been losses where they scored goals, but considered even more goals. So at this point, they travel away to Medal Insurance for match day 5. What do they need to do to turn things around, and what does turning things around mean at this point?
It's about turning up positive results, and that's what the club management, led by Elder Paul Bass here, are actually demanding from Akwa United players. Not just the gaffer, but the players also have responsibility of also ensuring that they put up fine performances on the pitch of play, which is quite concerning, particularly at this moment. I feel going away from home to Medal Insurance is an equivalent tax, quite difficult for them, because we're talking about Akwa United at this point can't even grind a result at home. Then, of course, going away from home. We've seen Medal Insurance, they have been quite positive enough this particular season, losing just 1 game so far, and that was the last weekend game for them. So it basically tells you that it's also a difficult moment for them, because in as much as you're also charging them to do a lot better, it is also a difficult task to go away from home to grind a result. But I think for me, it starts with at least getting a point away from home. That can actually be, a moral boost for them heading into previous games or the upcoming games.
It's concerning. How is it that they travel away from home, score goals, but lose games? They come back home, don't score, don't concede, play goalless draws.
I think basically when they play at home, you see the home team also coming up to attack them basically, and then when there are break-up plays, you don't expect Akwa United to be defensively cautious. They also threw the win at them, the opposing team, and that's why we've actually seen them score lots of goals away from home. But when they play at home, they try to be a lot more defensively cautious and also forgetting their attacking duties. I think this Akwa United side have also failed to know their identity yet under the man for Tayo Show. You see them score goals away from home, but when they come back where the confidence should be a lot more stronger, we also see them flashing to deceive. So until we understand what exactly Fatah Show needs from these players, then we can actually judge them from there. We do not know basically whether they're an attacking team that actually play the ball from behind and of course go in front asking bulk of the questions, or whether they are just sitting behind trying to counter press the opposing team on break-up plays. So certainly for now, Fatah Show is still finding his feet, trying to of course get the players to play the way he wants to play, and up until then we can actually see Akwa United adapting to whatever system Fatah Show brings to them.
According to UT Blyden, Fatah is still trying to instill his philosophy, his tactical instructions to the boys at Akwa United. But the question is, how long can we wait?
Well, Mari, quite hard to determine how long. I think the next game is so important. That's where we get to say they have to start winning games. And that's it. Whatever you want to do reminds me of Chelsea at some point. No matter what they tried to do, it was still difficult for them. But the most important thing is just find a way to grind out a result, whether you play well or not. Sometimes you don't have to play very well, but find a way to win games. Those are the marks of big teams, not just attacking or defensive. Do everything humanly possible as a footballer, as a team, to win games. And if they start to win, the first game might lead to the next and the next and the next and the next. And that's a conversation for me. It's not just about having a tactics. Now the most important thing is winning games, irrespective of the tactics you want to play. So for me, they just have to find a way to win games. Win the first game, it might just build that momentum to the next and the next and the next.
All right, well, at this point, one thing is certain, that the team needs our support. We have to support Akwa United now more than ever. If we can support Chelsea when they are in a state of crisis, if we can support Manchester United when they're struggling, if we can support Arsenal and the rest of them when they're struggling, let's also support Akwa United, because right now they need our support now more than ever. All right, we'll be wishing them the 1 million naira for their supporters' encroachment into the pitch of play during the match day 4 clash against Rivers United. Also, Heartland of Owerri were issued a stern warning to curb restive acts of the supporters and advised to organize reorientation for the supporters to inculcating them the spirit of fair play. The NPFL reached the respective decisions conveyed in separate jurisdictions. Notice on Monday, Canopy supporters were found to have jumped the barriers and onto the field of play to celebrate their 93rd minutes goal in the encounter at the Sani Abacha Stadium. For Heartland, the NPFL, in the memo, of course, asked them to caution their fans that next time there could be a sanction. It's a story of especially Canopy-less. Two seasons ago, that was when they got relegated, right?
Yeah, that was when they got relegated.
That's the story. Well, let's look at the Federation's Cup blinded as we move on. The processes for the Federation's Cup, the men and the women's competitions will begin on Tuesday with the registration of interested clubs by the FAs in the 36th state of the Federation as well as the Federal Capital Territory. After 1 month registration period, the state FAs will submit completed players' licenses to the NFF for production. Between the 1st and the 8th of December 2023, before the commencement of the state competition that has been scheduled for the period of 20th January to 25th February 2024. Each state FA and FCTFA will, on 26th February 2024, provide the NFF with its 2 representatives for the national competition. Registration fees for the men stands at 150,000 naira, while for the women it stands at 100,000 naira. Late registration for the men stands at 200,000 naira and 120,000 naira for the women. And of course, we know the winner of the FA Cup would qualify Competitions Cup in the men's category. Basically, for the ladies, it's basically winning it and getting the money. For CAF competitions for the women, it's the winner of the NWFL. So let's just some players to have arrived in camp so far. So Super Falcons would play the Olympic qualifiers match, the first leg against Shabakan Nadozie, Tosin Demehi, Rashida Tajibadi, and of course Asisa Toshola. Well, the likes of Oyinezide were replacements for players. Well, it's confirmed that Gift Monday, Halimatu Ayinde, Christy Chebe, Regina Otu, and Osinacho Hale are set to sit out of these games due to respective injuries. And so players have been called up to replace them. Well, Blinded, it's tomorrow, basically, and it's been a while since we saw Nigeria. The Falcons, as a matter of fact, participate at the Olympics. What's the approach like?
Well, I think it's a serious game. Quite sad that some big superstars are not being part of that mix at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, because I know it's going to be such a tough game for them. But on the other hand, Nigeria, big team. I think they have the team to defeat Ethiopia. Ethiopia, not any of those names you want to talk about in Africa. Africa, you get to talk about Ghana, Cameroon, sometimes Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, Morocco now, and that's it. And Zambia, basically those top 6 teams. Ethiopia not being part of that mix, but it could be hard because I can't remember the numbers. The last game Ethiopia played to qualify to the stage, they scored lots of goals. I had the goals were up to about 11 goals in aggregate thereabout, but it's that conversation. But Nigeria has not qualified for the Olympics in the last 3 editions, and that's the concern for me. They have to take it seriously, and I can't understand why from Africa only 2 teams get to qualify for the Olympics to join the rest 10 teams in the world at the Olympics, and that's it, having just 12 teams in that Olympics. So it could be difficult, the whole of Africa producing just 2 teams at the Olympics. But it's such a fight, an egg fight, and you're having the likes of South Africa, and up next for Nigeria could be the winners of Uganda and Cameroon, and that game will be taking place on the 26th of October. And if that game, whoever gets to win it, that's the top nut to crack. I'm imagining Cameroon winning it. Nigeria has to be serious against Cameroon.
Well, basically that's the story, but let's cross over the hurdle of Ethiopia first of all before talking about Cameroon.
Ethiopia are a decent side. I think we should take a look at the last qualifiers they played before facing the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So we should underrate Ethiopia at this time, knowing fully well that we haven't really, been a part of the Olympics in the last couple of editions. So we should take this game quite seriously if you want to progress and also qualify as well.
All right, so that's the story from here.
Guess we believe it. Look who we are. We are the dream.
Versus Wydad Casablanca has received a new date. As earlier reported, while Moroccan authorities were trying to frustrate the People's Elephant, he spoke with the media officer of the side this morning, and he was talking about the several issues around a failure of the Moroccan authorities to issue a landing permit for the chartered flight that was supposed to convey the Enyimba club crew to Morocco. And that's the story. Well, the game has been shifted by a day from Wednesday to tomorrow, which is supposed to hold till Thursday, 26th of October, 2023. Now, Blyden, North Africans have been notorious for these stories over time.
Yeah,
we keep talking about it. I mean, even while we spoke with the media manager this morning, well, he said that he's not going to be shocked if this is one of their drama, in trying to unsettle, the players and the away side in a bid to make them not, be in the right frame of mind for the game, as a matter of fact. But it's now becoming too frequent. It's now becoming something of a normalcy. And it's not supposed to be so. What is SCAF doing about it? Shouldn't SCAF take a critical eye and look at the stories, because it doesn't make any sense for me?
Well, Mari, for me, all this conversation is not necessary. Here's why. Because it's just like that thing you say, you get explain tie, see evidence. That's it for me for Enyimba, as far as I'm concerned. Look, Mari, they had a chance to win that game. You cannot prove that it's antics from the North African side, the Moroccans. It's not proven. It could be a technical situation, and the guys at the airport are saying, come on, we can't give you opportunity to land at this time, maybe wait a little further, and we are interpreting it this way. But on the other hand, it could also be that antics that we're talking about. What I'm saying, there's no evidence regarding that. We can't really say, so CAF cannot basically do anything about it. But if not Everton now, Enyimba Football Club had their chance, Mari, and they had the chance to win the game at home. They never won the game. All these antics, all these talks, for me, are unnecessary. Yes, for me, the only advice
we understand the fact that they had the chance at home, but Wydad Casablanca came into Oyo on Friday. The game was on a Sunday.
Yes, we know.
Basically, and there was nothing of a glitch whatsoever hindering them at the airport or maybe in Morocco. They landed here safely. We took good care of them. It's our turn and they're messing up, and then we should just smile and say, because we don't have any evidence.
Sure, they're messing up. That's the conversation for me.
Why
they're interpreting it that way. That's it. There's nothing as an evidence that this is what's
We're interpreting this in line with precedents. We know it's been happening over time. Enyimba 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
It happened.
It's a normal thing for North African sides to unsettle, the traveling team coming to, their country. It's a normal thing. My question is, okay, take away the fact that this, let's say this is not related to Wydad Casablanca. It's just maybe some oversight of a sort. But then North African clubs have been notorious for unsettling their traveling opponents. And it doesn't make any sense anymore. There should be some sort of sanctions, to help in issues like this.
My marriage has happened over time, and it's quite concerning as well. This is not the first time. It is not the second. I could still remember 2 seasons back with Enyimba International as well. It was about the change of venues. And at some point, even when Enyimba wrote to CAF, there was no response. And they had to play that game barely 24 hours after they landed at venue. And it's also quite concerning from that angle. So I don't know how the CAF rather can actually put up stiffer sanctions to mitigate this particular issue. Because if it continues this way, it will be more like a norm for North African teams to unsettle teams. I do not really see the excuses why they permit to not give it to Enyimba International. It looks like
they're now preferred to other clubs from other regions.
Mari, I still do not totally agree with it, but let me keep a base to this thing. Many years ago, North African sides were the smooth, easy sides, not complex. And it was a thing about other African sides, West and South and the rest of them, are not treating visitors quite well. It was a thing over the years. And maybe the Northern African sides are beginning to learn from these other people and taking it a notch higher, but I still do not have lots of evidence regarding this. But I think it's quite difficult for CAF on one hand, because these news are coming in and there are no picture videos or projecting these things, especially the on-field antics for me. But when it has to do with travel, I cannot really say. I still take that stand. I try to not make it a North African thing alone. It's been an African problem in a CAF competition. The only fact the only side I'm really happy about has been that they've been curtailing in terms of bribery and officiating issues. Before now we used to hear it, and now it's not really happening again. Maybe this is the antics that's remaining. We really hope it gets better in the nearest future. But I go back to what I said before. Enyimba should have won at home. If they had won at home, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We wouldn't even care about the antics.
They have a chance to win on Thursday, 26th of October 2023 and 7 p.m. at the Stade Mohammed V Casablanca Stadium. And that's the story from the show. No more tomorrow, it's now Thursday. We'll take the first by social media, the Facebook live feed, and of course the Planet Sports page. Drop your comments there, and we are going to take them right now. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Blyden, and
welcome, Joe.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I think we would have saved ourselves this embarrassment if Enyimba had taken their chances in making sure that they build the game here in the Nest of Champions. But they refused. Let them come back and be the perennial champions. There's no problem about that. For Akwa United, I think Akwa United they should have no excuse because they were given the free hand and they are being boosted by their salary and remuneration. So I think there should be no excuse. They should be given one match. Going to Bendel Insurance and winning should be the target. I mean, they fail. I think the whole team should be. Right. Should be fast. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Joe from Ikbanya. This afternoon for talking to us, UT.
Hello, good afternoon. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon, Mary. Hi, Chief. Another. Mary. I heard from David Odie, People's Elephant David Officer. They are here to fly to Morocco. Mary, landing there, they encounter another object tax. North Africans are wicked. Although, High Chief has said it, anybody ought to won the match here. They know the antics of North Africans. They take that antics as their birthright. Anybody wants morale are dying? My question is, why can't anybody punish them with God here? Look at when these guys came here, we gave them a do hospitality. They returned us back with stars. Well, don't you think it's high time we have to have a voice in camp? You don't have a voice in camp. What they are doing is so good. It's unprofessional. Finally, married today Champions League. Union Benin versus Napoli. I give it to Union Benin all the way. Arsenal Sevilla, Arsenal must win. Sevilla must go where they belong, Europa League. I think you know. Man, you bottom of their league.
All right, Tom Ghana, wrap it up. We'll talk the Champions League very soon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mary.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Good on the line. Hachi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Mary, I don't know whether there's any this position that the High Chief is contesting in CAF that is saying all those things. High Chief, see, there's always evidence. You don't have to be defending North Africans. You don't have to be defended because I can remember Akwa United, the day they qualified Confederation Cup, they went away. They won that game by 3-2 here in Lagos. So when they went away, as they were highlighting from their boss, they were speaking blood on them. Where on earth is that kind of a thing being done? That kind of a thing is being done anyway. This is football. We are not playing politics. We are not fighting war. This is not Israel and Palestine. You are not fighting war.
You don't do.
Actually, please, don't calm down. There's an evidence.
All right, because of your calm down.
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy that CAF has shifted the game to Thursday. Yes, I'm very happy because I don't see why CAF will still allow that game to hold tomorrow. Yes, I'm very happy. For them, they should do do the needful. Since they do it here in Nigeria, you should go there and do the needful and win the game. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles on the line.
Hello, welcome. Good to have you join us.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sport analyst. I remain Daisy. And I quickly talk about Enyimba to Morocco to take on Wydad Casablanca. I think it's a mere formality because there is nothing will come out for Enyimba.
Mr. Ace, it's just a 1-0 lead, right? It's not like it's 7-0.
I don't get it well.
Shebi, it's just 1-0 now. It's not like it's 7-0.
Yes, it's 1-0, but nothing. Enyimba will not be able to turn a table because those people, they come to your home with the full support, everything. You couldn't pull out a draw. They defeat you 1-0. Now, are you telling me that Enyimba are going to score 2-0 on Morocco without those people scoring like 2 goals also? So, it's a real formality. And let me talk about Man United in the Champions League taking on Galatasaray. And United should not have anything to say about a team like Galatasaray who beat them at Old Trafford. Now they went to Denmark, and I was surprised to see another drama this very turn because United is fond of bringing in a high profile of retired player who has made name in football, but when they come to the pitch of football, there is nothing to be found. So it is high time Ten Hag should know what to do. If anything, and 3 points tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, after so much, please and request, the man calls.
Guys, please know the request of the helper. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Well, it's a great time to return. First of all, good afternoon, Blyden. I'm a little bit disappointed with Blyden today. He's a veteran. He's covered so many of these stories, and there is a pattern to these things. Yes, I get the fact that you're saying there is no black and white proof that links the travel problems of Enyimba to Wydad Casablanca. But come on, we've been seeing this thing over and over again. We know how problematic the Northern Africans are. I recall a particular interview I was listening to. The legendary Ida Peter said. He talked about when they landed, I think was in Algeria, one of those days, those olden days, to take on a cab dude and take on a cab game. These guys had the guts to have an emergency carnival just to throw them off. We've even heard reports, I think 2 seasons ago, where a particular Nigerian team landed in Tunisia and the driver that was supposed to take them to the hotel room drove about 4 hours just with my rolling so that they get tired. So it's identical. Well, what I like about this story is for a long time, I think this is the first time in a long while where CAF is reacting. Maybe it's because it's the Super League.
Yeah.
But whatever, they don't want to embarrass themselves, and the Super League is getting sponsors from outside of Africa. But it would make sense, even in the AFCON. Even in the AFCON, you see them come up with laser beams and they try to throw the opposition off their block. So it's something that is very disgusting. But the good news is, Enyimba has gotten the 24 hours that they were robbed of. Whether they go on to win it. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, it's Blyden. I just want to ask a question regarding this conversation. Put certain perspective in it. Have you ever wondered why not Africans come to whether West Africa or other part of Africa, and they come with that whole belonging? They don't want to pick anything around there. What I try to avoid is doing is this. It's just narrowing the conversation to North Africa. It's not just North Africa. It's an African problem. Yes, we've seen it.
Well, it happens.
Absolutely. So I try not to narrow it down. And another thing is our purpose of this discussion. Sometimes we pick up something, and professionally, when you look at what you pick up, it's easy to look on this other side and say, oh, it's not Africa. And tomorrow, probably an outcome come, and they tell us what really happened regarding the flight delay. It wasn't just... So that's what I try to avoid,
I think I'm running out of airtime here, but Brandon, I get what you're saying. But the perpetual suspect when it comes to these unholy antics have been the North Africans. Yes, there have been incidences when, I think Senegal Senegal versus Egypt, already to go nation versus nation, the last World Cup qualifier, we saw Senegalese people bring in lasers. And I think that threw Mo Salah when Mo Salah went to take the penalty. And the Senegalese people were...
All right, Lucas, thank you so much. Let's move on to other stories where there's no drama whatsoever, especially in London. Tottenham Hotspur returned to the top of the Premier League standings as goals from Son Heung-min and James Maddison comfortably saw Fulham. Spurs had only dropped points this season in London derbies. Well, in yesterday's London derby, they did not drop any points. They've dropped points against Brentford and Fulham, and Arsenal rather. And it's been a story so far, so good. But UT and Postecoglou unbeaten after 9 games in the Premier League. Well, I keep saying it. Tottenham lost Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho, top managers, and of course they also lost their best player in Harry Kane. But how have they been able to be this good?
Sometimes it's not necessarily about big names, big name gaffers, and that has been the story of Tottenham Hotspurs. When Ants Postecoglou moved to Tottenham Hotspurs, there were question marks already regarding his CV. Doesn't really have a fat CV or a rich CV in terms of the top clubs he's actually performed with, quite impressive. But then we saw him go to Tottenham Hotspurs, silence the critics, brought in a couple of other players to consolidate with the already made players that were there from last season. Had to lose one of their best legs, and that's Harry Kane, to Bayern Munich. But we're still seeing Tottenham Hotspurs, coming out top, even doing a lot better than what we saw in the last 3 seasons with likes of Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho. So I think we should give this man some credit for doing quite well, phenomenally well. We're talking 9 games already and still top of the Premier League. They've only dropped points twice this season, and those 2 games have been in the London derby between Brentford and Arsenal as well. So it tells you the quality of this Tottenham Hotspur side. And you see goals being scattered around, not necessarily about the striker. Harry Kane scoring, Maddison also scoring. We're talking about
Harry Kane scoring at Bayern Munich, right?
Maddison and Son Heung-min, I beg for pardon, scoring. So it certainly shows you that almost all the departments are working for Tottenham Hotspurs, and then this is quite pivotal to their success.
Conte made a statement that I think contributed to his sack by then, criticizing the culture of the club, the culture.
Even at then, he wasn't doing well.
Right, at Tottenham. Yeah. Now, this same Tottenham look like they have developed a different culture. How much credit should we give to Ange Postecoglou?
Yeah, here's the credit, Mari. Let me say this now. I went through the history books, and I realized Ange Postecoglou has gotten the most points in 9 games in the history of Premier League for any Premier League manager in his first season. And that's the conversation. Jose Mourinho couldn't do it even with Chelsea, bagging up to 23 points in his first 9 games as a manager in the league. Sir Alex Ferguson couldn't do it. Arsene Wenger couldn't do it. Name the best English Premier League coaches who've talked about it. No one has done what Ange Postecoglou has done. But I think the beauty of it, Mari, is this. Not the fact that just people doubted Ange Postecoglou. But on the other hand, the greatest gift for Tottenham Hotspur is Harry Kane leaving that club. Look, before now, it was all about building play and sending the ball to a Harry Kane. Fantastic attacker for me. But now everyone is walking. And I was listening to James Maddison talk about Ange Postecoglou, and he said the very first meeting they had during the preseason, Ange Postecoglou told everyone, in Tottenham I hear, you've been more playing the low block and defending. Now we're playing high press. High press. No matter the condition, we're playing high press. And we've seen it work out for them. They're pressing you and pressing you. They pressed Arsenal till they got a result. And it's been a conversation. Pressed Liverpool and got a result. And for me, the only concern would be sustenance. Because you look at the attacking line of Tottenham Hotspur, just basically about 2 players. If Son Heung-min is injured, who gets to help them scoring the goals? If Maddison is injured, who gets to pass the assist? He's got 5 assists, and that's it for me. What are the options for him moving forward? Can he sustain the tempo? I do not think so, but it's done marvelously well so far.
Right, that's the story. That's the top of the Premier League standings with 23 points garnered so far, and it's a beautiful story. UT, check out the sports page for us right now. Let's take comments from there. And of course, you're going to show Blyden, by the way. Let's take the score before we look at the Champions League. Hello, Victor, the sports oracle himself. Hello, Victor. All right. This duo to return to the show. Thank you so much. We have it, UT.
Yeah. Hello, welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Blyden, please check the sports page for us. Ange Postecoglou.
Is England?
He's from Australia.
That guy, he come and fancy money. Tottenham manager, that means he's that manager of the month, money. They return to the summit with their unbeaten run. I wish them my fellow North African team more success, not London team more success. But as Mari and Rajaki and David, they may careful at the far end because their two front strikers, one they are wounded. I don't think that another person may take over. Right. They play with the same routine. They have the same game. They play for one another, Mari. I love their game. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Top Gunner, let's take the call from Victor.
Hello, good afternoon, Marazona.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon, UC and Clarence. Marazona, the issue of Enyimba of Baba, what actually happened to them. We have not here today some issues. We always see these things happen. So I always imagine where is the memorandum of understanding that these posters are signed. I have not seen it. So, well, for what has happened to I blame Enyimba could have win the Moroccan side here. Against 2 goals, they should have fear, but they have half already advantage. So they want to disrupt Enyimba. So the match supposed to play on Wednesday and shift to Thursday. But when they came to Rio, we give them enough time for them to train. But look at what they have to Enyimba. So Enyimba should not be distracted. They should prepare and play their match on Wednesday. If for Enyimba to win, they should win. And so for today's Champions League, Maradona, the England team has played it well, but all right. For the first time.
Thank you.
I wish all the England team all the best. That's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor, for talking to us. So Blyden will do us the honors and take us through comments from the sports page. Say 5 to 8 comments, Blyden.
All right, from the Planet Sports page, Xavier Chibon says, good afternoon, sports crew. I don't have much to say than to wish my lovely Arsenal team the very best against Sevilla tonight. Yubia Kang says, Ange Postecoglou has earned 23 points in his first 9 Premier League games in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, the most of any manager in their first 9 games in the competition's history. I wish Enyimba all the best. Chelsea Faithful also says, good afternoon, sports crew. It was a resounding performance from my team Chelsea over the weekend. We deserve all the 3 points, but as for Manchester United today, I wish them nothing but failure tonight against Copenhagen. Copenhagen should send Manchester United to Europa League on time. Just a friendly advice, Man U should start printing Europa League logo on that jersey because Europa League beacons on them. Well, that's tough one there.
Yeah.
Splendid Young, OG Splendid Young says, we are with them. We hope Akwa United will do better. That's all, Mari.
All right, so let's look at the sports page, not the live feed, rather. Well, Douglas Peter from the live feed says, good afternoon. Why do the North Africans always frustrate other teams' efforts whenever they have a game, especially second leg? And terms, Enyimba Sev, no, they learn lesson. He meant to say, I ain't good for now. I remember similar scenario played out a couple of years ago against an East African team, yet they refused to learn in order to make early prep. Douglas from Benin City. Thank you so much, Douglas Peter. Joseph Sabero says, Chelsea has turned the corners and we'll pretend we don't know what we're doing until we pick points everywhere and arrive in the top 4. Let's keep quiet for now. All the best to the English clubs at the Champions League this week. Well, thank you so much, Joseph. Yubi Akang from the live feed says, Song Yumin and James are really in shape. Tottenham return to the top of the EPL. I wish Enyimba the best rather. Well, Ogan Moy as well drops a really long statement that he has dropped in some language I cannot understand, and I'm not even going to read it because it's not radio worthy. Thank you so much. Also, Francis Namani says, watching live from Amagunze. Good afternoon, Planet FM, supporting crew. Kudos to Tottenham for their outstanding performance. Yubi Akang again. Well, thank you, Yubi Akang, talking about Rhyme Sterling there. Innocent Morris says, Partey and Ramsdale should start next game. I don't know why Arteta benched these guys. Thanks to Martinelli. Trossard at the man of the match, Declan Rice so forged to the end to end the unbeaten record still remains. Prince Lutin says, Sports Group, please, we have to welcome Chelsea because they'll be playing the UCL match against Carnapillars by 8 p.m. Well, banter taken from the Chelsea fans' perspective. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the Champions League. Fine boy. Gentlemen, let's look at the Champions League games for tonight. First of all, the one is set to go down. We are at the Old Trafford Stadium. Man United welcome FC Copenhagen, and it's more of a Hoylund derby. Rasmus on one end, Oscar on the other end. All surnames Hoyland. Same family. Brothers, actually. Well, according to team news, Sergio Reguilon could be fit for United for this game against Copenhagen today. The Red Devils are struggling with injuries and have lost both of their Group A fixtures so far. Reguilon has recently recovered from injury but missed Saturday's win to Sheffield United because of an illness. But he trained all week, and that's the story. Well, Rasmus sets for family reunion because the game will also see his younger twin brothers and the former club, as a matter of fact. Well, Blyden, first of all, let's talk to the stakeholder.
Yeah. You can ask Blyden first. No, take it to Blyden.
The stakeholder, Man United.
I never said so.
Football club. He has a 0.00000000001 stake at United.
I have a red hat.
Please rest. Now,
I do not know.
United to the rock bottom of the group.
Absolutely.
Right. This is a must win for them. Now, after the last season's performance, where they went all the way to the top four, won the Carabao Cup, the fans expected some improvement of a sort. It's not happened yet. How much of a daunting task it is for United in this game, and do you think they can secure 3 points and boost their hopes of qualifying for the next round, UT?
It is absolutely very difficult for United at this time. 2 games, no point to show. The likes of Galatasaray and FC Copenhagen, who are playing later this evening, they won't have points, and United do not have. So I think it's also a very huge task for them, because this game is a make or mark game for them. They need to win it, otherwise they may just likely be seeing themselves, being kicked out of the Champions League and not even qualifying for the Europa League, because if you have to qualify for the Europa League, you have to sit third in the table. And it's quite concerning for United at this point. So they have to find every means to win this game. They have been boosted by the return of Sergio Reguilon, just like you said. Sofiane Amrabat is also there. So they should absolutely win this game moving forward. But I think it won't also be an easy game for them, looking at the fact that it is a Champions League clash. And most times when we get to see, when we get to see smaller teams who some would say should be a stroll in the park, they haven't really been that same case. A typical example would be Union Berlin. In that group, we're seeing Napoli and Real Madrid. They gave Real Madrid a good run for their money. Real Madrid had to dig it very deep to defeat Union Berlin. So I think that should also be the case for Manchester United at Old Trafford later today. They have to dig in very deep if they are to get maximum 3 points. But if you ask me, I think United should actually win this particular.
The attackers of United are struggling to score goals, Blyden, recently. I mean, they relied on
the Champions League.
Well, as a team, basically.
Okay.
How many goals have they scored in the Champions League to start with?
3 goals. Rasmus Højlund.
Really?
He's got 3. I think the highest.
Did they win the game? No, they did not.
No,
right?
No, they did not.
Right.
Stakeholder.
Yeah. See the way he's defending the side.
I'm giving you the stats.
Looking at recent performances for United, both in Europe and of course in the league, the strikers are struggling to score goals. Rasmus Højlund, well, it's in a long way off for the man. As a matter of fact, they've relied on Scott McTominay recently to score goals for them. So this game is a game where you have to score goals, Blyden.
Yeah, I think so. I think Manchester United will beat Copenhagen, but it's not going to come easy in this particular game, coupled with the fact that some of the biggest superstars won't be available. I watched Manchester United over the weekend. I'm missing Casemiro for me. There's no transition in that team. A slow build-up, and that transition matters, how quick you transit to the next step of that game. And I see this Manchester United side. I think they'll beat Copenhagen here, but going away to beat Copenhagen would be concerning. The biggest fault for me for Manchester United was losing to Galatasaray at the other time out, and now it means they have to go away to Galatasaray. I still do not see them beating Galatasaray. And the last time I watched Manchester United and they couldn't qualify from the group stage, I remember they lost to Istanbul Başakşehir. It was that particular game that was a pointer, and this time around they've lost to another Turkish side, Galatasaray. It's a pointer that might not qualify from the group, and possibilities for me. I think Bayern Munich and Galatasaray will qualify from this group.
How shameful would it be that United cannot qualify from that group, UT, as a stakeholder?
I'm not married. Come on. You have to draw that was stakeholder. But I think it's not even more embarrassing, because I could recall the last time Manchester United appeared in the UEFA Champions League, beating RB Leipzig at home, moving away from home, just needing 3 points to qualify.
Istanbul Başakşehir, right?
And they couldn't do it. Istanbul Başakşehir, I think RB Leipzig was in that same group as well. After getting 6 points in the opening 2 games, they couldn't qualify. but not for this one.
Okay,
they have not gotten any points.
They're used to not qualifying.
That's the story.
Thank you very much. Now, Sevilla take on Arsenal later today as well. And it's also going to be an interesting game. Sevilla, well, we know they're just here because they know where they're going to, the Europa League, as a matter of fact. Well, according to team news, David Raya is expected to remain in goal for Arsenal's Champions League game against Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium today. The Gunners lost to Lens in the previous Group B fixture, and the Raya is expected to stay and start ahead of Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale, by the way, traveled with the side. As a matter of fact, well, Blyden, we're still coming to you in this game. Well, Arsenal's performance against Chelsea was a pointer to how good they can be on very bad days. As a matter of fact, well, this is the Champions League. It's a different atmosphere entirely. What are your expectations from Arsenal?
Well, I think the game will be a draw from my standpoint.
A draw?
I do not see Sevilla losing that game to Arsenal at home. Sevilla top side when it has to do with European football. Yeah, it's not really added up for them in recent times. And on the other hand, look at Arsenal. I still have memories of last season when they couldn't beat Sporting CP at some stage of the Europa League.
Yeah.
And it speaks volume about the quality they have. I listened to Mikel Arteta this morning talk about Kai Havertz, and he said he bought him for his Champions League experiences. So they're adding up some of these players for Champions League experiences, and that's just why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? And that's it. So you look at lots of inexperience from an Arsenal point of view on how to play the Champions League, but I think it's a big game. This Arsenal side is a decent side compared to yesteryears since the generation of Thierry Henry and the rest. But I think they'll pull a draw away from home.
At the end of the day, Havertz has more Champions League experience than Bukayo Saka and David Raya, right?
That's the thing. He was the hero of Chelsea. So he has the experience.
Yeah, I think the biggest player they've got there would be Partey. Yeah, he's got lots of experience at Atletico Madrid. But come on, after that, you have to mention Jorginho, European football of the year at the time. And the rest of them, no experience.
And Blyden. All right, so Galatasaray taking Bayern Munich later today. Well, Bayern Munich's in top of their group, so it's going to be one of those games where the win, well, it's just 2 points separating Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich 6 points, sit top of the win today. They move on. Galatasaray, by the way, have Wilfred Zaha, by the way, in their ranks.
Mari Cardi,
Dries Mertens, and the rest of them. Inter Milan taking Salzburg as well. Lens, PSV, Union Berlin, Napoli. Well, Napoli will be without Victor Osimhen in this game. It's a sad story. Sporting Braga taking Real Madrid. My eyes are on this game. Yes, former champ, 14-time winners of this competition, as a matter of fact. We travel to Portugal, taking Braga. Benfica taking Real Sociedad, as a matter of fact. Well, let's head back to the phone lines and take calls in 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Your reactions to the Champions League games coming up later tonight. And, of course, what you expect your team, to perform, to do tonight in the Champions League. We all, yes, we have that call. Swift with the recharge. Welcome.
Well, first of all, for United, they must find a way. And I think that's what they've done in the last two games. They didn't really play well against Sheffield United. They didn't really play against, Brentford. But they found a way, and this is where you need to find someone. It's just a little bit sad for Højlund. He's put in 2 defeats, and I hope if it's close today, then United will go home with the 3 points. Now, for Sevilla versus Arsenal, one thing that stands out for me is Arsenal's poor record in Spain. And Sevilla, a very physical side.
You should check that out.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
And we know Arsenal typically struggles against a very physical side. All right, I'm expecting Lucas Ocampos to put up another classic show tonight. Well, good luck to the Gunners. But for me, these fixtures are very boring. But we have to wait until...
Chelsea return to the Champions League, right?
Yeah, Chelsea and Liverpool.
I like that. Thank you so much. Now, I have a friend, who owns a viewing center, right? He was telling me over the weekend. He said that he subscribes and doesn't get value for his money because Chelsea are not in the Champions League. And I was like, really? He said Chelsea fans are the ones that bubble the Champions League and make viewing centers, have that massive crowd, Blyden.
Well, I've got bad news for him. It might take him a long while to get the value.
No, Uko does not want to hear this.
I do not think Chelsea will still go to Champions League.
Uko doesn't want to hear this. So shout out to you, Uko. All right, so, UT, let's take calls from there. But first of all, Arsenal's record against Spanish teams in all competitions. 17 games played, 11 defeats, 3 draws, and only 3 wins. Really poor. UT. The phone lines.
Murray, if you look at Manchester United, the way they are playing, they are not playing like a Champions League team. Their performance is very, very poor. Even in their last game against what's these people, Galatasaray, it was very poor. Their decision making, everything, it was not working. I don't see them qualifying from the group stage to the next round. But as for Arsenal, I wish them all the best. I know they will qualify, but they might not win to this game. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon. Your thoughts really appreciated. Also taking the calls in, keep them coming through. 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. Blyden, this is going to concern you a lot. Okay. Coach Maurice Stein has left Ajax by mutual consent after just 4 months in charge. We'll talk about it after this call. Hello. Good afternoon.
This is Victor from Midnight Palawa.
Yeah, Victor, long time, small.
Yeah, I'm around. I just wanted to ask Gladys something. Gladys, so Arsenal is going to win Champions League and Man U.
I'm wondering why he's asking me that.
Because he said Chelsea would not qualify for the Champions League, right?
He said Chelsea will not qualify for Champions League. Right. So Arsenal is going to win.
Of course, Arsenal won't win. We know that. Arsenal will not win. Manchester United, I do not see Manchester United crossing the group.
I beg you. No, Arsenal will not even qualify for round of 16. Not Manchester United.
Well, basically, I have no stakes in those clubs because I feel the question comes with some sense of stakes in those clubs.
No, basically, he's basically just a Chelsea fan, not delighted with the statement.
Yeah, I know.
Banter.
Don't worry, I'll say good things about Chelsea next.
You know. So, Blyden, the 49-year-old Maurice Stein has left Ajax to join from Sparta Rotterdam in June on a 3-year deal. Well, it's been a poor start for the 36-time Dutch champions, who are second bottom of the Eredivisie table. Just 1 win in 7 league games. 2 wins in their last 11 games in all competitions. Now, what exactly has happened to Ajax? Recently, they sacked their technical director, as a matter of fact, and it's been a downturn. Blyden, what exactly is going on with Ajax Football Club in Amsterdam?
Well, I think the model isn't working for them in recent times, especially in their Eredivisie. Because in recent times, you begin to see PSV, they're spending some money recruiting talents. But here's how it works before now. It was Ajax going to the smaller countries, picking the best players. And recently, they've really gone to Denmark to pick young players to be part of that team. But you know the disappointment, Murray. You have the likes of Brighton doing the same thing now. You have lots of young clubs doing the same thing Ajax used to do. Yeah. PSV, they're doing exactly that. So the model isn't working. But the only happiness in all of this for me from a Nigerian point of view would be the Nigerian defender, Calvin Bassey, because last season it was all about Calvin Bassey. Yeah. When they lose game, they say, oh, it's Calvin Bassey. When they couldn't score a goal, they say, it's Calvin Bassey.
So he dodged the bullets, leaving Ajax.
Calvin Bassey left it, and they're more terrible. They're also selling lots of players. Mohamed Kudus, the most recent ones, who joined West Ham. Yes, last season we saw how it performed with the side, and it's really changed in recent times now. Look at the players that are coming in. They signed about 3 new players to that side from Denmark, some smaller clubs from Denmark. It's not added up. Ajax is no more a big team, even in the Eredivisie. And they're worried because they're placed 17 now on the log, just 1 spot away from the bottom of the table. And it could be concerning.
A really poor thing, as a matter of fact. But before success eats me up, yes, this is an information. The Future Stars Football Academy will resume training tomorrow, Wednesday, at 15 Town Primary School in Biakban, number 1, Uturu Back, Akwa United State. And this is to prepare for the final preseason in coming up in the upcoming tournament that is about to start on Sunday, 29th October 2023. So this is calling on anybody who wants to join the Future Stars Football Academy to go ahead and join up with the training yesterday.